for the remainder of the 2025 season, something we all think we knew was coming after what Stephanie White said earlier today. We couldn't be too sure until we see it for ourselves. And with this announcement from the GOAT's mouth herself, Caitlin Clark won't be returning this season, nor if the Indiana Fever make the playoffs.
Caitlin Clark just hit the brakes on her 2025 season, and the internet is in total chaos right now. Fans are melting down faster than ice cream on a summer sidewalk, all because of one shocking statement. Nobody knows whether to cheer, panic, or dive into wild conspiracy theories about everything from sponsorship shakeups to her zodiac chart. This isn't some casual scroll-past headline. This is headline-grabbing, brain-rattling, history-shifting news. It's the kind of bombshell that yanks you by the collar and screams, "Pay attention," because the entire sports world just flipped upside down overnight.
Surprising at this point, but still incredibly disappointing. Caitlin Clark officially done for the 2025 WNBA season, as she and the Fever announced on social media. The Fever and Clark saying that she tried to get back on the floor. It appears that she just ran out of time, not able to get enough confidence back in her body as the season wraps up and the playoffs are likely about to begin for Indiana. I mean, it's a gut punch that basically encompasses an entire.
Now we're staring at the unthinkable, the very real possibility that Caitlin Clark's legendary rise could slam shut before it even reaches its peak. We're talking about the player who single-handedly turned every arena into the hottest ticket in town, who pulled casual fans into women's hoops like it was the newest obsession, and suddenly she's sidelined with a storm of doubt hanging heavy above her head. And let's not kid ourselves, the whispers are already flying like wildfire. Is this really the end? Could one single injury wipe out all that hype, all those records, every jaw-dropping highlight, and leave her story reduced to nothing more than the most devastating what-if in basketball history?
Released a statement saying this: "I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling. I want to thank everyone who had my back through all the uncertainty. This has been incredibly frustrating, but even in the bad, there is good. The way the fans continue to show up for me and for the Fever brought me so much joy and important perspective. I am so proud of how this team has only gotten stronger through adversity this year. Now it's time to close out the season and claim our spot."
If you're itching to see Caitlin Clark back on the court, then type CC comeback in the comments right now. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button, because let's be brutally honest, the sports world forgets stars faster than a TikTok dance. One day, you're the face of basketball, the headline everyone can't stop talking about. The next, you're just a dusty trivia question fans barely remember. Clark gave us one electric season, the kind that felt like the start of a dynasty. And now, she's staring at a medical chart that reads more like a warning label than a comeback roadmap. Even her most loyal fans are nervously scrolling through lists of athletes who never made it back to glory after injuries, and the comparisons are chilling. Sports doesn't care about jersey sales, highlight reels, or kids hanging posters of you on their bedroom walls. It only cares about one thing. Are you lacing up your sneakers right now? And Kayleen isn't.
Fever have lost so many players to injury, but obviously none bigger than Clark. And there was such a wait for this second season after her magnificent rookie season. And then, the anticipation of her possibly coming back, only for that not to happen, takes a lot of air out of the room, obviously takes a lot of energy out of the fans, and is a devastating blow for not just the Fever and the WNBA. But the good news is her career is not over. But, it's a tough blow when it all comes crashing down like.
Instead, she's stepping up to microphones, dropping carefully worded statements that feel more like PR bandages than rally cries. The vibe isn't, "See you stronger next season." It's something way scarier, something that whispers uncertainty instead of hope. Right now, it feels less like Caitlin Clark is plotting a triumphant return and more like she's whispering, "Please don't forget me while I disappear into the endless rehab void." You can feel it. The spotlight is fading, dimming by the second, and everyone knows it.
All right. So now, I don't know who asked the question. The young lady, shout out to you. She said, hey, are you guys going to make an announcement? Like that, I appreciate you at least. You didn't say it as blunt as I would have, but you said it. You asked the question. Hey, because now she's saying, yeah, the plan on this West Coast trip was to evaluate. How you going to evaluate her if she never had contact? What's the evaluation? She's been able to shoot jump shots. She's been able to run up and down the court by herself with nobody touching her. What was there to evaluate? Now you're pushing it through the weekend, leading us on, having us dangling it.
Meanwhile, the trolls are feasting like it's their own personal championship game. The same folks who couldn't even point her out of a lineup last year are suddenly self-proclaimed doctors, diagnosing her whole career from their couches. They're swearing she'll never step back on the hardwood, already stamping her as finished before her second pro paycheck even clears. Brutal doesn't even begin to cover it. But let's hit pause for a second. Is this really the end of Clark's story? Or just another savage chapter in a career built for drama? Because in sports, the line between an unforgettable comeback and a crushing collapse is paper thin. Some athletes bounce back like they're stitched together with steel springs, while others crumble under the insane pressure and never look the same again. And right now, nobody, and I mean nobody, knows where Caitlin Clark is going to land. Caitlin Clark's future is hanging on a knife's edge. She could rise from this setback, rewrite the definition of greatness, and stamp herself as an even bigger legend. Or she could end up as that cautionary tale fans whisper about for years. Proof that hype doesn't always translate to true longevity, and the cruelest part, just how fast the script flipped.
Well, there you have it, folks. My hot take from earlier this year, all of a sudden, not so hot. Caitlin Clark announced that she's going to be out for the rest of the season. Obviously, a nice little post here thanking her teammates, saying she fought back, was in the gym trying to come back. She wanted to, but Caitlin Clark not returning for the rest of the season. It makes sense considering where the Fever are at in the playoffs right now. Right now, they are making the playoffs. They're the 8th seed, so it would be the final seed there. But are they going to make much noise? Chloe Bibby just went out for the rest of the season. She was one of the...
Not long ago, she was torching defenses, dropping points like a walking cheat code, and owning press conferences with the swagger of someone who looked like she had basketball itself on speed dial. Now every update on her condition feels like it's airing live as a primetime drama. The big questions hang heavy. Will she return? Will she dominate like before? Or has the magic already burned out? Fans aren't replaying her highlight reels anymore. They're dissecting medical terms like game film, desperate for answers in all the wrong places. And those same fans, most of them are drowning in denial, clinging to the fantasy of a miracle comeback. They're flooding timelines with motivational quotes, treating her like she's some kind of bionic reboot just waiting to hit restart. Because let's be real, that's way easier than facing the brutal truth that her peak might already be gone forever. Not every career ends with fireworks, farewell tours, and standing ovations. Some just stop. And for every legendary comeback splashed across documentaries, there are a dozen athletes who quietly vanish into obscurity, remembered only as sad trivia questions. That's the nightmare hanging over Caitlin Clark right now. The fear that her name could be rewritten as nothing more than a what could have been. And the media? Oh, they're circling like sharks, pumping out endless think pieces asking if she was overrated, a product of hype, or even using her setback to question whether women's basketball can ever carry a true superstar like the men's game. It's lazy, it's cheap, and it's draining. But that's the media machine at work. They build you up, rip you down, and cash out on every headline in between. Because these days, you can't just be injured. Nope. You have to be turned into some oversized symbol, some dramatic storyline that looks perfect on a chart or a debate desk.
Caitlin Clark is out for the rest of the WNBA season. She had posted this whole statement on Instagram as well as the Fever officially announcing it just now here on this Thursday evening. And there have been some talks about from the Fever staff about her potentially trying to come back, and they had kind of been trying to drag this out as much as possible over the course of this season, but there simply seems to just not be enough time in this season for them to fully feel comfortable in getting her healthy. And the message that has been sent has always been, The most important thing is her long-term health. That is what the Indiana Fever are focused.
So now, Clark's knee isn't just her knee anymore. It's the centerpiece of a national conversation she never asked for. No, Caitlin Clark's injury isn't just about her knee. It's become the centerpiece of a full-blown debate about the future of the sport itself. And let's be real, one season. That's all she gave us before everything came crashing down. One magical run, one viral highlight reel, 1 year of being the chosen one. So what are we supposed to make of that resume? Was it genuine greatness? Or just a flashy fling with destiny that fizzled out too soon? History doesn't exactly celebrate short stories. It loves epic sagas, legacies built over years. Which makes the questions hit harder. Will she ever return to her old self? Will this injury leave her a shell of who she was? Could the Caitlin Clark era really be over before it even had the chance to begin? And here's the cruel twist. If she never comes back, her legend might actually explode even bigger. Athletes who burn out early often get mythologized, remembered not for what they did.
He finally had the balls to ask somebody, hey, are you guys going to make an announcement? You said you're having a meeting. You had your evaluation on the West Coast trip. Now you're going to have a meeting. Are you guys going to let the fans know what the hell is going on? Because y'all keep collecting ticket money. Y'all keep promoting that she's going to be at this arena and that arena. Y'all keep saying that she's day to day. First, we heard she might be back for the Minnesota Lynx the first time we played them a week ago. She wasn't even ready for that. A miraculous ankle injury popped up.
But for what everyone swears they could have done, she could go from superstar to untouchable myth, frozen forever in that one dazzling season. And honestly, that might be the most haunting outcome of all. Caitlin Clark might go down as basketball's biggest what if. Remembered not for what she achieved, but for everything she never even got the chance to do. And here's the twisted part. That kind of unfinished story could actually lock in her legacy even deeper than a decade of just being great ever would. Because let's be real, sports fans are obsessed with tragedy. Sure, they celebrate champions, but what really sticks are the legends that never fully were. And right now, Clark isn't the unstoppable force anymore. She's the most fascinating question mark in the game. Her injury could end up being just a speed bump on her path to dominance. Or it could be the final period that ends her story way too soon. And the truth? Nobody, and I mean nobody, knows which way it's going to swing. All we know is the entire world can't look away. The wild speculation, the fiery debates, the wild-eyed conspiracies, it's chaos, and fans are devouring every second of it. And hanging over all of it is the darkest headline of them all. What if she never comes back? That chilling possibility is bouncing through every group chat, every late-night sports bar argument, every single Twitter thread. The idea that the player who single-handedly resurrected women's basketball might also end up as its most tragic, unfinished story. What if this whole thing is the cruelest twist of all? Like the game dangled its brightest gift right in front of us, only to rip it away before anyone could even savor it. 1 minute, Caitlin Clark is the headline, the phenom rewriting history, and the next, she's the cautionary tale coaches use as a warning about hype and burnout. And let's not kid ourselves. The media is drooling over this saga. They love nothing more than building stars up just to tear them down piece by piece. Clark was their golden goose. She boosted ratings, sold out arenas, turned jerseys into collectibles, and gave them viral moment after viral moment. But now, the storyline has flipped into pure clickbait chaos. Every talking head is debating whether her career is already dead before it even got started. Forget rehab updates. This is about the drama, the fear, the spectacle of watching an empire crumble before it ever had the chance to fully expand. Brutal? Absolutely. But let's be honest. It's also captivating in the worst way, because here's the thing about sports fans. They can't look away from a downfall that feels bigger than the game itself. Deep down, fans live for this kind of drama. They'll never admit it, but watching a star stumble, watching them face the possibility of a career-ending blow, it's its own twisted form of entertainment. Could this injury actually end Caitlin Clark's career? On paper, absolutely. It's happened before. Plenty of athletes got derailed before their story even had a chance to take off. Because here's the harsh reality. Bodies aren't invincible. Doesn't matter how many hours you grind in the gym or how many protein shakes you pound. Sometimes injuries just don't heal the way you need them to. And if Clark's body betrays her, then all that insane hype, all that electricity she brought to the game could end up shoved into a dusty trophy case labeled unrealized potential. And here's the unsettling truth. Her margin for error is paper thin. She doesn't have a decade of dominance. No shelf stacked with rings, no mountain of MVP trophies, no endless highlight reels spanning years. What she does have is one spectacular season. One stretch where she looked untouchable, unstoppable, destined for greatness. But if she can't build on that, her entire career risks being boiled down to a single YouTube video titled "Caitlin Clark's Best Plays Before the Injury," complete with a giant, unforgiving asterisk. And let's be real, that's the kind of ending fans fear the most but secretly can't stop watching. Deep down, fans live for this kind of drama. They'll never admit it. But watching a star stumble, watching them face the possibility of a career-ending blow, it's its own twisted form of entertainment. Could this injury actually end Caitlin Clark's career? On paper, absolutely. It's happened before. Plenty of athletes got derailed before their story even had a chance to take off. Because here's the harsh reality. Bodies aren't invincible. Doesn't matter how many hours you grind in the gym or how many protein shakes you pound, sometimes injuries just don't heal the way you need them to. And if Clark's body betrays her, then all that insane hype, all that electricity she brought to the game, could end up shoved into a dusty trophy case labeled unrealized potential. And here's the unsettling truth. Her margin for error is paper thin. She doesn't have a decade of dominance. No shelf stacked with rings, no mountain of MVP trophies, no endless highlight reels spanning years. What she does have is one spectacular season. One stretch where she looked untouchable, unstoppable, destined for greatness. But if she can't build on that, her entire career risks being boiled down to a single YouTube video titled "Caitlin Clark's Best Plays Before the Injury," complete with a giant, unforgiving asterisk. And let's be real, that's the kind of ending fans fear the most but secretly can't stop watching. That stuff eats you alive. It makes you question everything. Will I ever be the same? Do people even care anymore? And the scariest one of all, was my peak already behind me? Those thoughts don't whisper. They scream in your head once the stadium lights dim, louder than any roaring crowd could ever be. And then comes the pressure. The crushing, inescapable pressure. Imagine being told over and over that you're the face of the league, the savior of the sport, the one destined to carry it all into the future. Then suddenly, one injury shatters the script, and you're forced to accept that future might not even include you. That's not just physical rehab. That's a full-on mental demolition. Yet somehow, everyone still expects you to slap on a smile, drop polished statements, and act like your entire world isn't slowly collapsing behind the scenes. The performance never stops, even when the actual game does. And here's the wildest part. This one injury could completely rewrite Caitlin Clark's entire legacy. If she fights back, defies the odds, and takes over the league again, she won't just be a star, she'll be a legend. The comeback queen, the icon who stared down unthinkable adversity and flat out refused to fold. But if she doesn't? Then her story flips instantly into tragedy. The cautionary tale of the phenom who had it all and lost it before she ever truly cashed in. And here's the eerie twist. Caitlin Clark's story might actually echo louder if it ends now than if she had gone on to have a long, steady career. Because yes, let's be brutally clear. It's possible this is the end. It's possible Clark's career is over before it ever truly began. We may end up looking back at that one shining season and saying, wow, that was it. That's the cruel beauty of sports. One moment you're untouchable, the next, you're shockingly breakable. Nobody, not even the star herself, knows how the story will finish. And that's why this feels less like a season update and more like a season finale cliffhanger. The million-dollar question now, is this really the end of Caitlin Clark's rise? Or just the most dramatic halftime pause we've ever seen? She isn't just missing games. She's dangling her entire future in front of us, and the suspense is brutal. If she comes back, will we see the comeback queen rewriting her myth in real time? Or the haunting shadow of a career cut heartbreakingly short? Either way, the world won't look away for a second. So if this breakdown had you hooked, make sure you smash that like button, drop a comment with your take, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter in this saga. And hey, check out the other videos on your screen right now because trust me, the next sports scandal is already loading.